as opposed to hold on a second here. I'm going to turn myself at an angle here so I don't have the sun on my camera. Hope everyone's doing well. So this particular list of information, it's been floating around social media as far as cities that have been given a alert of some type. Hey, Canadian. In the U.S., they didn't list any Canadian cities. That doesn't exclude Canada or Mexico. Hey, Coffee, it simply is stating that the intel is specific to the U.S. Hey, Suburban, what's going on? So, according to what I've seen, and I have not confirmed, I've been looking to see who posted this list. Apparently, it's a leaked list. So, you kind of wind up in a circle of references. Hey, Nunya, as to who got it from who. But, hola, Marco, what's up, Fed Up? Hello, hello. Celtic Grandma, hello. So, I hope everyone's doing well regardless. So I was on this weekend, I wound up at a wedding of a kid who grew up with my kids, and she was getting married, and we went there as guests of the bride, and it was nice to do something and see a young family and young couple celebrate a new stage of life, and they're a good Christian family. So both families where I got to meet the new groom, and hey, Random, what's up, Marco? So it was nice. It was, hey, Papa's Farm, waiting to head to a massage appointment. Well, that sounds better than a conference call, which is what just canceled on me about 10 minutes ago. And I'm like, I'm going to go online now because inevitably they'll call me and pester me later. Um, but it was nice. It was good to see some friends and family. Hey, Frank, uh, Lioness, hello, hello. So, released from jury duty, yes. Well, what's funny is last time they called me for jury duty, they asked if anyone in my family, it was a domestic issue, and they asked if anybody in my family was in law enforcement. In my case, it was, and it just so happened the person is a what do you call that individual was involved in trafficking and spousal abuse cases. So I'm like, I have a very short fuse with that kind, and that defense attorney, after they kicked the cops out, because the cops sometimes show up for jury duty, I was like the very next name. They're like, that guy needs to go. So oh, Johnny, yeah, I was going to bring that up. Actually, that's where I was going with it. I think I missed a couple of you in here. At least my chat is not all gibberish. It's spread out the way it's supposed to be. So oh yeah, no, I was out. Yeah, they're gonna have a fun time with him. Hey, my mother Spark, hola. All right, so allegedly, according to the social media gurus that are all throwing the numbers, the cities around, I wanted to at least give you guys a listing of what the cities were, and this is in no particular order. I guess it's kind of whoever it was bouncing around, and I've listened to several different people, and it was the same list in different orders. And yeah, that's what's funny. All of New York State was on there, so I don't know what the hell that means. So anyway, so of the cities that they say should be on enhanced alertness, whatever that may mean, was we'll start with Washington, D.C., which is a no-brainer. And then they said New York, and I said, okay, New York City, the big city. And they said, hey, Macabus, how are you? Papas, if I didn't say hi to you before, Johnny, Random, hello. Um, but then they corrected and said all of New York State. And I'm like, well, that's a hell of a lot of territory. So I went to another creator on another platform who also happened to be a former intel guy in the military, supposedly, and one guy who's an active cop. And they both repeated the New York warning was the whole damn state, not just the city. So, yay, So I guess if you're like on the south side of Buffalo, someone might attack you. I just don't know what to make of that. Anyway, back to the list. So, Washington, D.C., New York, the entire state. Hey, random, again. San Francisco, California, which makes sense. I believe that's near the naval bases there. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the San Diego. Well, San Diego's on the list too. San Francisco, Santa Clara. Yeah, Johnny, that I did notice. Los Angeles, which no brainer there. San Diego, which is near the Navy bases. Houston, you have NASA Mission Control. You have Ellington Air Force Joint Reserve Base now. You've got the big airports. You've got the refineries. That makes sense. Arlington. So I was struggling with Arlington. So all of those, I don't know much about Santa Clara, but San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego made sense. Um, Arlington confused me because they said Arlington and Dallas. And so, for those of you not familiar, you have Dallas to the east, Fort Worth is to the west, and Arlington's like smack in the middle. And I'm like, why didn't they just say Dallas, Fort Worth? Why Arlington specifically? And what somebody just, I think Johnny just mentioned that, hey, elusive, Arlington uh, has a very large ethnic population, as Johnny pointed out, but also it's the home of the Dallas Cowboys, the Texas Rangers, Six Flags, and a water park. And they're all within like a 3 mile radius right around the highways. So there's a lot of entertainment. Yeah, Johnny just pointed Dallas has a lot of entertainment venues. And also, Dallas is known for its oil and gas. Remember the old TV show Dallas? As is Houston, right? So those two made sense. I was kind of struggling with Arlington. Anyway, so Boca Raton, Florida. So Fort Lauderdale, I see. Orlando, I get it. Tampa makes sense. What's with Boca Raton? What the hell's there besides like old rich people houses? Like, is there a military base near there? I don't know much about Boca Raton. I was expecting, uh, oh, what's it called? Jacksonville? Yeah, Jacksonville to be on there. Hey, Stuart, it's good to see you. Lots of money and vacationers. Okay, so it could be targeting vacationers. Yeah, it could be. Hey, Dan. Um, Tampa Bay made sense. That's a major city. Boston. Uh, I'm going to move to another. All right, can you guys see me now? So give me a 5x5 if you guys can see me. All right, thank you guys. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, that was exciting. So I was trying to switch to my phone and it decided, no, you will not. So where the hell was I on the list? Was I in Tampa or Boston? Hey, Virginia. What's going on? Thanks. Hey, I'm back. Yeah. Yeah, I was totally, well, needless to say, when I put that live stream up, I'm going to have to cut that little piece out. Um, all right, where was I? Tampa, right? Boston. Hey, Vision, what's going on? So Boston made sense. Uh, Playfield, Illinois. Chicago makes sense. I don't even know where Playfield is. Does anyone know where? Yeah, Jackson. No, Jacksonville was not on the list, Marco. And that kind of surprised me because I would think there's a Navy base in Jacks, but nope. So the Florida was Boca Raton, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, and Tampa. Hey, Tracy K. Playfield, Illinois. I don't know what's in Playfield. Any of you guys and girls from Illinois, let me know. Chicago makes sense. Cleveland. Laurel, Maryland. What the hell's by Laurel? Potomac, Virginia. Springfield, Virginia. Plainfield, Illinois. Oh, Plainfield. I misspelling. That's my bad. So what's in Plainfield? Is a village in Chicago. So basically, Chicago's suburb. Could be in Nostra. That wouldn't surprise me. So Potomac, Virginia, which I know is by DC, so God knows what agencies there. Springfield, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina, but not Winston-Salem, which is interesting. Philadelphia, no surprise. Charlotte, South Carolina is on there. Detroit, Michigan, not a surprise. Columbia, Missouri. Kansas City, Missouri. Denver, which is overrun with Antifas anyway. Uh, Oklahoma City. It seems like Oklahoma City gets hit with all this stuff, right? Tucson, Arizona, which is by an Air Force base. And the last one was Seattle, Washington. So it was approximately 30 cities. Just to read them off again: Washington, D.C., the entire state of New York. Thank you, Tracy. San Francisco, Santa Clara, California, Los Angeles, San Diego. In Texas, Houston, Arlington, Dallas. Florida, Boca Raton, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, and Tampa. Boston, Massachusetts. Boston was the only city. Dan, that's a good point. I didn't think of that. Uh, it's not Playfield. You guys corrected me. It's whatever that little suburb of Illinois, and Chicago. Cleveland, Ohio. Not a big terrorist list. Yeah. Um, Laurel, Maryland. I don't know what the hell's there, but it's in Maryland. Probably has a military base or something. Potomac, Virginia. Springfield. All the Virginia suburbs make sense because they're near DC, so this is kind of the DC metroplex. Raleigh, North Carolina, I don't know what the hell is there. Philly, Charlotte, Detroit, not a surprise. Columbia, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, Denver, Oklahoma City, Tucson, and Seattle. So those are allegedly the list of places where, right, anything in that general area, Virginia, Maryland, I'm writing off as a government agency of some type or some kind of government project. I'm still struggling. So Arlington has a lot of entertainment stadiums, like the Dallas Cowboys, Texas Rangers, and Johnny was able to give me some extra detail in the chat, so that made sense. Um, I'm in a government building in New York. LOL, I'm totally safe. Oh no. Mississippi Bridges on 40 at Memphis. They don't have Memphis. They don't have New Orleans, which was surprising. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette. Nope, nope. Um, Phoenix, Flagstaff, none of the other cities. So I was going to try and map these out, but my map, and then, everyone's looking at these cities and they go somewhere. They don't like the Cowboys. Caption Carnitas. Did I freeze up again, or can you guys hear me? Hey, Devil Dog. I'm telling you, this is terrible. I'm, oh, hey, Lucky. What's going on? Okay. So, why does my chat have a crown? That's pretty cool. Now we have a chat. You're talking and not moving your lips. Yo, I should deliberately screw up my live streams just to see you guys make comments because it's are priceless. I'm in a spaghetti western and a kung fu movie all at the same time. Oh, God. Oh, no. The dog is sick. It's no bueno. So those were the list of the cities, allegedly. I'm not sure. They did skip a lot of cities. That would be a terrible kung fu movie. Um, that I would have expected they would have. Just Texas alone, there were a lot of bases. They mentioned, so Lucky, just since you kind of rolled in late, the list allegedly going around the internet includes Dallas, which made sense, Houston, and Arlington, which at first I was kind of struggling with, but Johnny and a few others mentioned that, we have the Texas Rangers, we have the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, Six Flags, a bunch of hotels. So yeah, that then it made more sense. It's a list that's been circulating on cities that have been told to have enhanced alertness because of possible terror attack in the event the U.S. either directly intercedes with Israel or they go after Iran, or we escalate or we get escalated somehow. 10 power plants in the middle of northern Illinois. Now, in the last week, a guy tried to crash into that power state or the nuke station over in, was it North Carolina? So, Coffee, I keep hearing people are worried they would get all hit at the same time, and it wouldn't have to be anything massive, right? They wouldn't have to, you know, nuclear bombs or anything like that. Basically, you could just do like small attacks all at once, right? And that would absolutely discombobulate everyone. So, uh, right, you got NASA. You also have the refineries down there. You have the port. You have Ellington Joint Reserve, which basically is meant to protect NASA. So, yeah, it got real quiet. Upstate South Carolina. Okay, thanks, Marco. Thanks, Mother Spark. Yeah, but that was the list. So those of you rolled in late or after I unfroze. Washington, D.C., New York, the entire state of New York. That's what I found interesting. Everything else was specifically the city, but they said the entire state of New York. Anyway, Washington, New York, San Francisco, Santa Clara, Los Angeles, San Diego, Houston, Arlington, Dallas, Boca Raton, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Tampa, Boston. I keep calling it Playfield. I forgot what it's called. Illinois, which is outside of Chicago. Chicago's also on the list. Cleveland, Ohio, Laurel, Maryland, Potomac, Virginia, Springfield, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philly, Charlotte, Detroit, Columbia, Missouri, Kansas City, Denver, Oklahoma City, Tucson, and Seattle. So that's the list of alleged cities that are being threatened or they have reason to believe would be at risk. Other than that, it's weird because I heard that they claim I was drunk. I'm not sure I believe that. I don't know. It was a local with Arizona time. Just well, hey Jess, hey Loretta. So I was trying to plot them on a map. The map didn't work out well, but it seems to be a spread across the country. Not a lot in the heartland. Did you notice? Um, there's some targets in Ohio and Illinois, but there's some states they completely are not on that list. And hey, Red October. I mean, there's really not much we can do as preparedness folks and people. I mean, I'm not going out checking for Al Qaeda's or ISIS or whatever. I would recommend though you pay attention to what's going on. If you can carry, I definitely would do that. I'd be doing that regardless, just because we have assholes on the street running around. Oh, Loretta, what happened? Hold on, I missed Loretta's. Oh no, I'm sorry, Loretta. Intersection of Laurel, Maryland. Hey, Cold War intersection of Fort Meade. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Laurel, Maryland. Well, I figured anything Maryland and Virginia had to do with, hey, Irishman, hey, Gray Man, would have to do something with government agencies in that area. I'm surprised that they have Orlando, Tampa, and Fort Lauderdale, not Jacksonville by the base, but then they have Boca Raton. Does anyone know what the hell's by Boca Raton? Hey, thank you, Marco. Thank you, Stuart. No strip, please. Did it freeze again, or is that on my end? Wait, who froze? Okay, no, I'm on live chat. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's the list. I just thought it would be interesting. And again, it doesn't tell you much. Army Air Base. Okay. Thank you, Devil Dog. So, some of them, I guess you guys have filled in some gaps for me because I don't know what the hell's in Santa Clara, California. Thank you, Cold War, by the way, for filling in the details on Laurel, Maryland. And I figured again, Maryland, Virginia is going to be like government agency stuff. Um, Philly would be a, like historic city as well as a major city. Um, I mean, the other one, Charlotte, Detroit, Columbia, Kansas City. I mean, they have the generic targets. It's east of the Mississippi. Hmm. Yeah, so Boca Raton Army Airfield. Okay, that could be part of it. Um, the ooh face. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Um, the comments here, prices, because what's funny, my I was frozen on the screen, but the chat was still going, and that absolutely made my afternoon. Oh, that's terrible coffee. Um, in any case, those are the cities. Most of the list is east of the Mississippi. That's a good point, winning streak. You got what? Three cities in Texas, four in California, so seven. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm looking though, eight. So eight of the 30, nine of the 30 are in the West. Oh no, Oklahoma City, 10. So one third of them are west of the Mississippi. The rest are east of the Mississippi. So that's interesting. So Columbia, Missouri. What's by Columbia? That's true. Yeah, Mother Spark is right. Those are airport hubs. Hey, you're always smart, winning streak. You're multitasking and you pick that out, which is pretty cool. Um, the chat should act like it's frozen and watch what Pete does. No, because I'm watching on my phone just to keep you guys honest, because y'all would cause mischief. It's like teaching a high school class sometimes. Yeah, that would be funny. That'd be terrible. We need to randomly do that to people's live streams. Just go in there, but we have to get at least five people on board. Cheater. No, because I know you and Marco and the rest of the mischief in the chat. But in any case, oh God. So apparently, calling someone an anal pore is also not a nice thing to do on a Teams meeting. So you multitasking is my shit. So high school, you give us credit. Um, Surely you jest. Uh, yeah, a lot of these have. Now that you guys filled in some blanks on some of these cities, um, a lot of it makes sense. What is this? Uh, uh, oh no. Okay, hold on a second here. Today. Oh no. One of my coworkers, who's a good friend of mine, just lost his grandma. That's a bummer. I'm sorry to hear that. Um, anyway, winning streak. Now that's a bad idea. We should not do that in others' live streams. Only yours. No, we need to do it in your live stream. Or I'll change my keyboard to Spanish so everything comes out. Marco, Marco. See, we have an inside guy there. Uh, but yeah, that's a bummer. I'll reach out to him in a minute, and he's a good dude too. Ironically, I work with him and his brother, and they're the coolest family. They immigrated from Mexico. The older brother, um, said, he was so excited to be part of the new country he enlisted and wound up in Iraq for a tour. And I laughed because you look at him, he doesn't look like a tanker at all. And the his humor is absolutely bizarre. But hey, Cold War. So I can't say hi individually. Don't worry, Tracy. Be safe. So, folks, those are the lists. I mean, there's nothing really here to panic about. There's nothing you can panic about, right? Hey, be safe, Johnny. Thanks for jumping in. Uh, be be careful with your general stuff. I mean, we're already paying attention because they're not punishing criminals, so they're all acting like assholes. And so I'm not frozen again, heathens. I gotta watch you guys. I got a commercial on my own live stream. Yeah, no, nice try though. Uh, but in any case, we're already kind of watching the street. Hey, Grammys. Uh, we're already watching the streets because people don't behave. And yeah, Devil Dog, absolutely. That oh, I get ice cubes now. That's awesome. um, just be careful. And I've mentioned it before. Um, you should know the rhythm, the ambiance, if you will, of your area, your town, or places you go, right? So, oh yeah, I'm absolutely gonna look. I gotta keep. Well, I did already freeze once. So, hey, Moldy Soldier. Pinball said you can change some settings, stop the ads in a live stream. I gotta look into that. Um, just my heart's frozen. That way, I don't have feelings. Nice, but you know, pay attention to things that are out of place. And again, I'm preaching to the choir because most of you are already doing this, right? We talk about this in my live streams and y'all's. You who are creators. He does. He said made you look, but the you want to look for things that are way out of line, not just your, oh, look at the meth head flapping around in the corner. You're going to want to look at fresh baked cookie. What did I do, or what is she going to want me to do? Oh, there's a booby trap there, buddy. You got to be careful. Um, and keep an eye on things that are way out of place. Again, do I think we're going to have like the paragliders landing out here? Hell, they'll hit the pump jacks out here and landing cactus. Out here's probably not a great place to be attacking people. Um, would also be suspicious. Uh, cities, obviously, you're not going to see that kind of really grandiose attack. Um, Pete said booby. Uh, but you do want to pay attention to things that are really out of the ordinary. Trucks that are parked somewhere for no reason. The reason they broke up the second attempt to bomb Times Square is because they were trying to. The guy, he screwed up the explosives. I won't explain how. I know what he did wrong, but I won't, I won't tell you what he did. But anyway, long story short, instead of exploding, the SUV caught fire, which of course created smoke. And then people were like, the car's on fire. And so a horseback cop rode up on, looked through the window and saw a bunch of stuff in there. And he was like, oh, this is bad. And he ran everyone off. Um, but, it was somebody noticing smoke coming out of a vehicle, but it was illegally parked. And up until smoke came out of it, nobody noticed. They looked at security cams, and that car had been illegally parked for over 3 hours, and nobody had noticed it until smoke came out of it. And if the guy had done his homework right, that freaking Times Square that particular day was absolutely full of people. Poop spelled backwards is still poop. How did we go to poop? Where landlord, off boy, and mother, and his mother? Huh? In all fairness, he would probably be right. Yeah, poop. Okay. I don't know how we wound up talking about poops and boobs in my live stream night chat. Although, again, Poop backwards and forwards is Biden. There you go. So my neighbor's dog keeps coming out to bark at my dogs, but then my dogs aren't in the yard. So then he sniffs real hard, like he's trying to see if they're there. And then he gets real sad and he goes and stands in the corner like my friends aren't out to play because they do zoomies together. Yeah, I know, random. Just nobody's fired spitballs or thrown like M&Ms across the room at each other. Uh, so, Coyote, to that point, the Air Force just extended the age of recruitment and recall to 42. The Navy went to 41, which sounds to me like they're trying to recruit millennials and the younger half of Gen X because Gen Z, for the most part, doesn't want to be part of this fun. Um, whether that'll happen or not, I don't know. Uh, but if I recall correctly, and those of you who serve can correct me, please. Um, if you serve, you have a total 8-year commitment to the military. So if you do a 4-year hitch, you have 4 years IRR, inactive ready reserve. If that's the most are sleep drooling on the desk, I'm telling you. Right. So they still can get called back for 4 years. So my middle son got out of the guard after his 4 years, but I think he's eligible for IRR for 4 years. Um, they might do ASVAB waivers if they need, you know, bodies in uniform kind of thing. He has 4 years in active recall. Okay. So it is for a total of 8, I believe. So I know one of my sons, my youngest son, re-upped, but he kept his MOS. So at least he knows what he's going to be doing. Um, Now, how does that work, guys? Maybe you guys can help me understand. If you so you do your 4 and you leave, and then you get called back, other than like a medic or someone very specialized, do they necessarily put you back in the same MOS? Or can they tell you like, oh, you were a mechanic, but guess what? Now you're infantry? And do they plop you wherever, or do they keep you? It's only for the first contract. Okay, thanks, Devil Dog. Um, yeah, mine do zoomies through the house, but then they get into this combat corgi mode, and then there's fluff everywhere. He's not anyone hotel tracked vehicle mech. Okay, well, it depends. Like a tracked vehicle mechanic, they're probably going to want him back. Hey, Stray Kitten. Um, Poor Stray Kitten walked in. They're talking about poop and whatnot. Um, Bunnies are doing your bunnies are doing zombies? What the hell is a zombie? Oh man, I'm like zombie bunnies. That's not an image I needed. That's awful. All right. If you re-enlist, it's for 4 years and 4 years only. Okay, that would be awful if you had zombie bunnies running around. Had a dream that changed draft age to 60. Well, Papa's, that's the other thing is during World War II, Germany wound up, when it got really bad toward the end, they wound up adding basically if you were under 70 and you could either drive a truck or hold a rifle, you became the home guard, which ultimately in the U.S. became civil defense. Um, that's the one thing I'm concerned about, as you guys pointed out, is if you leave completely and you were some like accounting and they're like, no, we need infantry. Guess what, Bubba? You're going to go to the infantry, and they may stick you through a new AIT school or an A school, as you Marines would say it, and train you in a new MOS. That would be Bubba's fort. That would be pretty bad. But hey, Hill Summit, how are you? So, folks, that was the list. And again, so winning streak. Here's the interesting thing: if you draft dodge, you can go to jail. They send you to Leavenworth, I believe. I think it's 10 years. But if you abandon your post, if you join the military and or they finagle you in, and you basically or get or found guilty of desertion, it could be a death penalty, and not necessarily in a civilian court. You get a military court, and they could shoot you overseas and send you home, or send that person home. If it's a NATO, oh, so it should be the same MOS then, unless you request a change, um, or unless they don't have a spot for the MOS, because not every MOS may have enough spots. It depends, I guess. Um, if you oh, random, I'll reread the list real quick. Okay, and again, this is not confirmed by any government website. This came from a variety of social media. So Washington D.C., New York, not just the city, but the entire state of New York is under alleged threat. San Francisco, Cali, in California, San Francisco, Santa Clara, Los Angeles, San Diego. In Texas, Houston, Arlington, and Dallas. Florida is Boca Raton, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Tampa. Massachusetts was only Boston. Um, Illinois was Plainfield, not Playfield. That's what I said earlier. Chicago, and Plainfield is a suburb of Chicago. No, no worries, Lucky. I appreciate you jumping in. Um, Cleveland, Ohio. Laurel, Maryland. Potomac and Springfield in Virginia, which are probably government offices. Raleigh, North Carolina. Philadelphia. Charlotte, South Carolina. Detroit. Columbia, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, Denver, Colorado, Oklahoma City in Oklahoma, Tucson, Arizona, and Seattle, Washington. And those are allegedly the list of 30 cities that had apparently been given notice to increase their um, awareness. Hey, Lucky, if the dog's still eating, if you have pumpkin puree, just pure pumpkin in a can, freeze it, or you can give it to him on a spoon or something. I found it almost within half an hour kills any nausea the dogs have. Uh, Either that or they'll poop out whatever they have. So it will clear out their tummies. So she's on antibiotics. I think that, oh, yeah, that would definitely do it. But yeah, New York is the entire state. And it was the only one that I heard on 3 or 4 different platforms that they very specifically stated. I'll send Hudson a message later so he can send to you. Okay, great, Tracy. Yeah, please do that. So anyway, oh yeah, rice works really well. And rice and thawed frozen veggies and some plain chicken breast makes a really good sick dog food. Um, I've actually used that a few times on the potatoes and when they get sick, and it works really well. Yeah, but that's the list. And now that we've all been talking, a lot of them make a hell of a lot more sense than they did before. Uh, so yeah, so if you're by an airport or government agency, they will put you wherever they want. Yeah, and scan that's and thanks for joining us. Yeah, see, my thought is if you were like an accounting person and they had a major recall, and they said, "Well, we don't need an accountant here anymore because Frodo has that spot after you left, so you're going to go 11 Bravo or 19 Delta. We're going to kick you into another MOS." Um, because most of these advanced schools, or what, especially if you've already done basic and one MOS school. What's infantry is 8 weeks. I think Cav and mechanized are 8 weeks, also 12 weeks. But yeah, I could see them taking, unless you were like a medic or something really important. Port cities, yes. And keep an eye. Jason, Angry Prepper, mentioned it last night, and I'd mentioned it a few weeks ago as a side note to something else I was talking about. But the Mumbai attacks, um, uh, that was in a port city, and these guys basically used a small motorboat to what? How did they do it? No, they stole a fishing boat that had two small motorboats attached. They took it from the owner. Then they went offshore of the city and they broke two on a jet ski, two on the boats. They all hit the ground at once in different parts of the city. and then they were connected by cell phone. The leader gave the signal, and all 8 of them went in different directions in pairs to shoot up the city of Mumbai, and it was an absolute fiasco for the Indian counterterrorism groups because they didn't realize at first that it was multiple teams of attackers. The same thing happened in the Charlie Hebdo attacks in France. One group went and shot up the newspaper, and they left, but then another group popped up at a market, and they thought it was the same group of people until they started looking at footage and taking statements and realized one was actually a man and a woman, the other one was 4 guys, and they broke into teams of 2. And it shut Paris down because these bastards were everywhere. Um, that becomes really hard to defend against for a security team. Hold on, I lost somebody just said something in the chat there. I was signed up for security forces, and when I graduated basic, they sent me to supply. Yeah, and basically where they need you. Um, say chicken and rice, plain. Yeah, plain white rice will do it. Um, so I guess those are the things that are really hard to counter against because you can get, I don't know, 6, 8 assholes in, I don't know, pick a city, New York, and they decide, okay, we're going to break into teams of 2. You 2 go to Brooklyn, you 2 idiots go to Manhattan, 2 go to Queens, 2 go to Staten Island, and everyone at noon, everyone does whatever it is you're going to do. And that absolutely will discombobulate the city. Um, and small groups are very hard to spot, right? Because you could dress in black hoodies, and then when you're done in one area, you pop your hoodie off like bank robbers do, right? Pop off your hoodie, put on something different, and just go do 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 to somewhere else, and then go cause shit somewhere else. So um, those kind of attacks are hard to defend against, and with that many people coming through the border that we don't know who they are, um, you don't need a lot. Honestly, we could have, one guy was like, we could have 10,000 foreign troops. We could, but you don't need that many. You could have 50 assholes in, 25 different places working in pairs. Yeah, oops, exactly. And that'll absolutely cause a fiasco. And you can't like exist in fear of going to the store. So, plan your trips. If you're going to go shopping, don't go to Target, come back, go to the grocery store, come back, go to this place, come back. Plan the route for the day and go, okay, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll save gas, but um, you'll also save on time and exposure, right? Because your time out of the homestead, out of the house, is a time of risk, hypothetically speaking. So you go, you execute what you got to do, and come home. And don't fart around. If you're going to go to an event, uh, know where the exits are. Okay, no worries, Papas. And I'm going to wrap it up here in about 5 minutes or so. Know the exits. If you go to a concert, you go to a game, you go to the city to go have dinner, whatever it is, know how to get out, know where to go. Um, well-tamed dream could cause pure chaos. Yeah, Kentucky, absolutely. We the people are the big correct winning streak, and that's why I say, folks, make sure you. Yeah, Plainfield is on the target list. I called it something wrong. Called it playpen or something dumb. Playfield, because that's what I heard the other guy say. He had an accent, but it was Plainfield. Uh, Plainfield was on the list along with Chicago. Okay, Tracy, that makes sense then. Actually, I got lamb chops we're going to be making on a cast iron tonight, so that should be fun. So, but folks, yeah, um, pay attention to what's around you. Be careful of what's going on, and you know, be vigilant. If you're not used to being situationally aware, it's something you can practice, right? All males from PRC are reservists appear. True, Hill Summit. Very true. 6-year-old and mother. I don't know, Stray. Is that where the little kid got stabbed by the other a-hole? I don't remember what happened there. But yeah, practice situational awareness. If you go to, okay, thanks, Trey. If you go to Walmart or wherever you go, walk in and identify the exits. And you teach yourself, look up, don't look at your phone, don't look at the board with all the coupons or whatever the hell they have, or displays to distract you. Look up, see who's there, what's the general feel of the store or the location. Um, but yeah, folks, that's the list. If I get a chance later, I'll type it up more coherently and stick it on my community page, and you guys can do research as well for anything that's in your area. But in any case, folks, I'm going to wrap this one up. Thanks for putting up with me and my damn frozen screen earlier. But uh, just be aware of where you're going, and don't loiter in places that could be construed as an easy or soft target. You know, if you're in a crowd, um, get your business done, get the hell out of the crowd. I love to go sightseeing at 8, 9 in the morning when there's nobody out, because by noon, 1 o'clock in a tourist site, everyone's there. I want to be eating lunch about 2 miles away. You know what I mean? So, but folks, be smart out there. Be careful. I'll try and post these later on, but do your homework. Check for the events in your area and make sure that, you know, if you have to take precautions or delay anything, do so. But folks, until later, God bless, Godspeed. You guys take care of yourselves, and we will see you later on. Take care.